Tyler from Aspire Sports, and who are the top running backs that you should be adding for Week 8 of the fantasy football season. I'm going to give you my top 5 guys that you should be adding during the waiver period for this upcoming week. I make new content like this every single day, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into the video. The first guy on the list is going to be Cleo Herbert, and he should be the top waiver wire claim for all positions this upcoming week. He's currently rostered in right around 58% of your Yahoo leagues right now, but that needs to be higher going forward. Khalil Herbert is clearly the guy in this backfield right now until David Montgomery comes back, which it looks like it's going to be after week 10 when they have their bye week, but maybe it could be longer than that. So Khalil Herbert needs to be rostered right now. He's going to have at least 2 games. He should have at least 2 games without David Montgomery back. It's going to be San Francisco and the Pittsburgh Steelers. A little bit of tougher matchups, but still. He just had one of the toughest matchups against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he rushed for over 100 yards. He was the second highest rated offensive player at the running back position this past weekend, and he had the highest rated run grade by Pro Football Focus this past weekend amongst all running backs. The dude looks legit right now. He played on 77% of the snaps compared to Damian Williams' 16%. So he's clearly the guy to have here. So going forward, you want Damian Williams. His ownership needs to rise. So if he's available in your leagues, he needs to be the top waiver wire claim for you this upcoming weekend. The next guy on the list, and there's actually going to be 2 of them, it's going to be Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott. And we just got word that Miles Sanders is officially week to week. So I envision him at least missing this week. And honestly, I think there's a decent chance that he's going to miss next week as well. It's going to kind of be like a Saquon injury where multiple weeks, but then he should be back. But you have pretty good matchups coming up here against the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Chargers for both these running backs. Now, which guy would I want first is going to be Kenneth Gainwell, because Kenneth Gainwell for me is more their pass catching back. That's if you're in PPR leagues. So if you're in PPR leagues, Kenneth Gainwell first, then Boston Scott. Boston Scott will definitely be involved in this offense. He's going to be more of their early down back, I envision, and also their red zone back a little bit. You'll also have Kenny Gainwell involved there a little bit, but especially when they get close to the goal line, it's probably going to be Boston Scott, where he scored, I believe it was a 1-yard touchdown this past weekend. So more in standard scoring leagues, I'd rather have Boston Scott, where in your PPR leagues for me, Kenneth Gainwell, where he saw 8 targets this past weekend, had 4 catches for 41 yards. So definitely in PPR leagues, he'll also probably get a handful of carries as well. But in PPR leagues, Kenneth Gainwell is the first player, followed by Boston Scott, that I would want next. And you're probably going to have them for 2 weeks. So Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell. The next guy on the list is going to be Brandon Bolden. And take this take with a grain of salt, because this past weekend you had Ramondre Stevenson, who looked like he was starting to get more involved, was a healthy scratch. And that's Bill Belichick for you, okay? It's going to be different a lot of the time. But so far, if we go and look at his stats since James White has been out, he's seen 4 targets, 6 targets, 4 targets, 1 target, 7 targets. So to me, it looks like he's taken on the James White role, especially this past weekend when you had Ramondre Stevenson, who was a surprise healthy scratch. So going forward in PPR leagues, he's somebody that I would just keep on my bench right now. And if you need him, and if there's another situation where you have all these teams on bye, plus all the injuries and COVID, then yeah, fire him up. I think that he's a viable option when that happens again in your PPR leagues. And standard scoring, there's not a whole lot of interest there for me, but definitely in your PPR leagues for me, Brandon Bolden is a decent add this upcoming week and is a flex option for you during the bye week. So Brandon Bolden is the next guy. The next player on the list for me is going to be Salvon Ahmed. And let me know if I'm saying his name incorrectly. Last year, he was relevant, and I remember people were saying his name 2 different ways. No, this way is right. No, this way is right. So I'm just going to say Salvon Ahmed. And if I'm wrong, just let me know down in the comments. But this past weekend, you had Malcolm Brown get hurt in this game. And today, he was just placed on IR. So at least 3 weeks, he's going to be out. Possibly more. So now that means that Ahmed is going to be the next guy in the backfield with Myles Gaskin, who clearly, this past weekend, he got a decent amount of work, but clearly this team doesn't trust 100%. He's not the bell cow. So both these guys are going to kind of be in a committee approach here, with Ahmed not playing as many snaps as Myles Gaskin should. But now if anything were to happen to Myles Gaskin, you would have Ahmed probably be the lone guy in this backfield, where last year we saw that with Ahmed when there was nobody healthy as well. and he actually produced in one of those games. He had a fairly decent game. So Ahmed is somebody that if you need somebody to just kind of stash, you don't need to play. He's somebody that I would just add in case anything were to happen to Myles Gaskin. Also to see how next week looks with both these guys, where I envision both of them being used in this offense because this team has clearly all season long has used the committee approach. So he'll probably be used in this offense. So Salvon Ahmed is just somebody that you don't necessarily need to add, but if you're looking for just a stash guy, he's somebody for you. So Salvon Ahmed is number 4. The next guy on the list is going to be more of a bonus guy prior to the last guy here. I just want to include him because I'm not entirely sure what's going on with Mike Davis. I don't know if he's going to miss time. He did leave this game early due to an injury. He was hopping off the field. So I don't know if it's significant or maybe it's just minor and he's going to be okay to go next week. But if he does miss time, Wayne Gallman, I figured, would be the next guy in line here. Yes, Cordell Patterson would get a bump, but they're not going to give Cordell all the touches. Mike Davis was actually averaging 16 touches a game prior to this last game where he's massively disappointing. So Wayne Gallman figures to be a part of that offense. And honestly, I think Wayne Gallman is better than Mike Davis anyways. So if Mike Davis were to miss time, Wayne Gallman would step in there and be like a lower end RB2, I would say RB3, where Cordell Patterson would definitely get a boost. So Wayne Gallman is somebody to just keep your eye on. Well, keep your eye on Mike Davis in the injury report. I'll keep you updated. So Wayne Gallman. The last guy on the list is going to be Rashaad Penny. Now, this is coming out before the Monday night game. So here's my take, and I maybe will take a big L or maybe a W, depending on tonight. But tonight, what I envision for Rashaad Penny, this is his first game off of the IR since 3 weeks ago, obviously on IR for 3 weeks, but his first game back. So what I envision for Rashaad Penny tonight is he's going to be involved a little bit in this offense. I'd say at the second most at the running back position. You're probably going to have Alex Collins, who's going to start. He's going to see majority of the work, but you're also going to have Rashaad Penny coming in here and seeing some work as well. With Rashaad Penny, he's been a player that has not been healthy whatsoever, right? Has not been healthy. But right now, he's healthy. How long does that last? I don't know. But Alex Collins has been banged up already so far, and now Rashaad Penny is just waiting there. And I've said this before multiple times. I just believe that this team does not want to be wrong about a first-round draft pick, so they're going to try. They're definitely going to try to get him involved. He was a first-round draft pick. The talent has been there. It's shown in flashes, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy whatsoever. Has not been healthy. So maybe he gets through this game without an injury, and he actually looks good. So he needs to be rostered. He should have already been rostered before this weekend, but if he's not rostered and he has a good game, add him. Now, if he doesn't do anything, then obviously disregard what I'm about to, everything I just said. But if he goes out there and he looks good, he shows his flashes, and he's playing decent amount of snaps, absolutely add Rashaad Penny. Next week, they get the Jacksonville Jaguars, so a really good matchup. So Rashaad Penny's the last point on the list. And if there's somebody that you think I forgot, let me know down in the comments. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, like the video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.